video today. We're going to progress our movements a little bit more from our last handstand video, and we're going to practice a few freestanding handstands at the end. So let's get warm. We're going to warm up together and we're going to start standing and just bringing our necks side to side. Just going to get everything moving. Good, looking side to side. And up and down. Good, roll your neck. All the way around, other way. Good, let's do some shoulders, little bend at the knees. Getting all our joints nice and mobile. Bringing the elbows up. And bringing the arms up nice and high. Good, now let's reverse it, bringing the arms forwards. Good, now bringing your elbows, hands on your shoulders. Little bounce in between if you want, you don't have to. And the shoulders. Good, let's roll the wrists. Try and think about rolling your hips around at the same time. If you can coordinate it, we're going to bring our hands up as we roll our hips around. Good, now turn your hands the other way, turn your hips the other way. Good. Coming down. Big rolls. Good, let's do a few squats on the spot. That's it. Just go as low as you feel comfortable. Make sure that your knees are coming directly over your toes. Good, next one we're going to open our feet out into a nice wide squat, and again, up and down. Try and think about squeezing your thighs together in a handstand. You actually have to use your legs a lot more than what you think you need to. Good, next one, hold it down. We're going to push so we open our knees out as wide as we can. Gentle rock side to side if you like. Good, straighten your legs. Bringing your hands to the floor and hold this stretch. Good, walking your feet in. Coming up, we're going to put our hands on our knees and we're just going to do some circles around. And other way, you can let your feet drop side to side, that is fine. Good, we're going to roll our ankle around on the ground. Other way. Good, other foot. Good, other way. Nice. Let's come down to the ground now. So we're going to do some wrist push-ups. We're going to get it into a little bit more strengthening to build up our strength to be able to hold a handstand. So we're going to come over onto all fours, leaning over onto your hands a little bit, making sure we're not arching or hunching too much. We want to try and find like a middle ground, and you're going to push your hands so that the palms come off the ground. That's it. Up and down, making sure that your chest isn't coming up like this. You want to use your hands to use your forearms to get your hands off the ground. Keep going, 5 more, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring them onto the palms, onto the back of the hands, and now onto the palms, and a little bit of a stretch. Good. For this next move, we're going to need a piece of dowel or the end of your broomstick or mop. We're going to come down to the ground. The biggest thing I want you to make sure that you do is keep your core nice and tight, so we don't want to really arch our back. We want to keep our core on, squeeze our butt as hard as we can. To make it a little bit harder, join your feet together. If that's too hard, you can have them separated, but try not to have them too wide. Our face or our forehead is going to stay on the ground the whole time. When we're lifting, we want to make sure we lift with our arms and try not to lift our head off the ground. We're going to do 10. Let's go. Lifting up and down. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Making sure you don't arch. 7, 8, 9. Last one. We're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Good. You can put that to the side for a second. Now we're going to do some arm raises. So we're going to reach forward. We're going to lift our arms, both our arms up, keeping our forehead onto the ground. The first one is going to be forwards. The second one is going to be out to the side. The third one is going to be hands in, facing down, then palms facing up. And then our last one is going to be a little swimmers over the head, like that. So we're going to do it together. We're going to do 10 of each. Make sure that you keep your core nice and tight and you're reaching out as far as you can, keeping your arms straight in each one, yeah? So follow along with me. I'll yell out as well so you can hear. Ready? Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to the side, palms facing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms facing up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hands to the side. Let's do the swimmers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Lift higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now push up. Give your back a little stretch. And now push all the way back. Give your shoulders a bit of a stretch. Nice. We got one more thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some dish holds just to get our core turned on, get us ready for our handstands. Lying down on your back, grab a quick drink if you need to. What we're going to try and do here is we're going to try and take away any arch in our back and bring it down on the ground. Yeah? We're just going to start with our legs bent, arms up. We're going to hold for 20 seconds and then we're going to do some taps to the ground and back. So coming up and holding. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's tap. Good. Other side. Keep that chest nice and high, shoulders off the ground. Breathe. Good. Keep going, a couple more. Keep that back flat into the ground. Good, one more each side. And stretch it. Good, give it a nice stretch. We're going to do that one more time. We're just going to hold the dish shape. If you want to make it harder, you can extend your arms over your head and you can straighten your legs out like that position. Yeah? If you don't want to do that, that's fine. It still is a really good workout with the bent legs. Ready? Let's go 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more to go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, let's higher, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stretch out, turn around, and stretch it out. We're gonna do a couple little kicks just to get ourselves nice and warm for when we do kicks into handstands. So keep one foot on the ground and we're gonna lift the other leg up and down. Nice and gentle. We're doing 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep pushing with the arms. 9, last one. 10, other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a quick drink and then we're going to go through a few drills before we do our freestanding handstand. Alright guys, for our first drill we're going to just do some bear walks. So we're going to start with our feet and our hands on the ground. What we're trying to do here is put as much weight as we can in our hands. So if you can come up onto your tippy toes, if you're feeling this is a really big stretch, then just bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. We're going to walk forward with our opposite hand to foot at the same time. And if you have some space where you are, you're going to just keep going. And I want you to try and keep continually going like in a big circle, yeah? If you don't have that space, try and go from one side of your room to the other and go back and do that a couple times, yeah? So we're aiming to try and do this for a good 30 seconds. And then once you've done that, I want you to go backwards. So, same thing except the opposite way, more leaning on your hand, and we're really pushing the floor away from us and trying to keep our body in a nice down dog position rather than closing our shoulders up. So we really want to open. So opening is by opening our arms up and closing is like that. So when I'm in this position, my shoulders are very closed off. So really open and push through your arms for the backwards version. And again, do that for about 30 seconds around your house as well. Our next drill is going to be our froggies. We're going to start down nice and low to the ground with our knees opened out really wide. If you can't get into this position, you can come up onto your toes. We're going to reach forward with our hands and we're going to try and land in the same position we are now, if not with our legs even more in front of our body. So we're going to lean forward, push through, making sure the hands stay flat and try and jump in front. Then the hands come off and we do another. Yeah, for this movement, I want you to try and keep your bum down low and put weight in the hands as we do it, yeah? Once you've done that, we are then going to go backwards. So we're going to start in this position, put our hands in between our legs, and we're going to jump backwards, yeah? Initiate the movement from pushing the hands into the floor. Again, with this drill, try and do 30 seconds forwards and 30 seconds backwards. And for our next drill, we're going to do some bunny hops. So for this one, if you're not quite confident in handstanding, you don't have to go very high at all. We're going to start with our feet in close together. We're going to reach our hands out and you're going to think about staying in that down dog position, trying to kick your butt and come down, yeah? We want to make sure that when we do this, we're not closing our shoulders off, so we don't want to feel like we're going to face plant. We want to keep the arms nice and straight and push our hands into the floor. So we want to eventually try and get our bum up a little bit higher. This one you can just do on the spot, or if you want to, you can do it traveling, then land, a little hop, up, land, a little hop. Again, this one 30 seconds, or just gauge how you feel and try and do about 10 bunny hops all together. We are now going to go into our L kick and L snap drills. So for this one, we are practicing kicking up. This is where our down dog kicks really come in handy. I want you to start nice and far back, and we're going to take a really big lunge with our front leg. So further than what you think you should, I'm going to reach my hand towards the end of the mat or even a little bit further. So I'll just stand back a little bit so I can come more in center for you. We're going to take a really big lunge. You're going to reach your hands forward and you're going to try and keep your tummy tucked in. As you go forward, our leg is going to come up and then we're going to push with this opposite leg. So we want this to happen a little bit faster than that, obviously, but you can do it slow to begin with if you're feeling a little scared. The hardest part is taking that weight on that leg and taking the other leg off the ground. We don't want to go here and put our hand down while this leg is still up, because it's not going to be a very good position to get us into a nice straight handstand. We're not lifting our other leg up, we're just pushing off the ground. So for starters, we're going to go forwards and try and just do a little push with this bottom leg. Doesn't have to be high. We want to send that other leg up as much as we can and come back to that start position. Yeah? When you feel a little bit more comfortable, you can go up a little bit higher, but we don't want to hold it too much. We want to come up, and then we want to come down and finishing nice and strong. When you do this one, I want you to do about 10 of those, and then we're going to progress to the L snaps. So with the L kicks, I want you to do both legs, so 10 with your left leg in front and 10 with your right leg in front. For the L snaps, we're going to come into that L kick position, and then you're going to join your legs together. So your bottom leg, the pushing leg, is going to come up to the top leg. You're going to squeeze and try and push to the ceiling, then you're going to come down the same way that you came up, and that's really important. So, you come through, squeeze, back down, and ideally you want to land, bring your feet together and squeeze as tight as you can. Yeah? You don't have to go that high. You can join your legs a little bit further down, but you will have to do it a little bit faster. So if you don't feel comfortable going high, you can join your legs and come down, but you will have to do it a lot faster so that you have time to get your foot down in between. We don't want to land with 2 feet on the ground like this. We don't want to come up and then come down, because it's going to be a lot of pressure for your legs, for your ankles and knees. We want to stay up in that nice, strong position. So 10 again on each side, and then come back for our next one. Our first wall drill is going to be with our chest facing the wall, and we're going to make a box shape. So what you're going to do to start with, if you've never done this before, is you're going to sit against the wall with your bum against and your feet out. Where your feet are, that's where you want your hands to be. Now, if you're really scared of this to start with, you do want to move your hands a little bit further away, and I'll show you that shape. But to get a proper square box, you want your hands to be right where your feet are. So, coming into this position, we're going to bring our feet up. You can start a little bit higher, but we want to be right at our bum. And then we're going to straighten our legs. From here, push through the fingers as much as you can. We're going to straighten one leg up. You're going to try and look at that leg and hold. And then we're going to bring that down, do the other leg. We really want to try and avoid any splitting in this position. We want to stay nice and square. To come down, bend your leg and bring your foot on the ground one at a time. Now this is really scary. It can be a lot on the shoulders and it's a lot in the hands to start with. You're going to bring your hands a little bit further away. So I'm going to start with my hands a little bit wider, and I'm going to bring my legs up a little bit higher, and I'm going to practice holding this position while pushing my chest to the wall. Yeah, from there you can practice bringing one leg off at a time, but not too high. The aim of this move is to keep our arms nice and straight, to keep them in a nice straight line, so that when we bring our leg up, there's one line throughout the whole position from my hand on the floor to my foot at the top. So, whichever version you're doing, I want you to do 3 sets and try and take each leg off 3 times each, so 6 times altogether, and do that 3 sets. Our second wall drill for today is we're going to practice kicking up into a handstand, and we're going to practice our stag position. So often we practice our handstands with straight leg, and that is really great because it's training us to do the hardest way possible. But what we actually want to do is we want to train easier ways so that we can get the feel of holding our weight in our hands. When we're doing this position, we're going to kick up against the wall, and we're going to make sure that we push our fingers into the ground. Being a little bit further away from the wall, we're going to touch the wall with our legs. So I'll show you what I mean. We're going to start a little bit further away. We're going to come down, coming up and touching the wall with our foot. From this position, I want to make sure I'm centered over the top of my hands, and I'm going to bring this back foot down, and I'm going to try and point the toe. Yeah, from here, try and take away that arch as much as you can, and you're going to use your fingers to hold your weight as you take your foot away from the wall. Yeah, that is the position that is going to be most helpful for you to find that perfect stag. Now, don't be worried if your feet are going to move. You actually want your feet to move to help you balance. You'll probably see my feet, as soon as I take it away, I start to move back and forward to find my balance. So, a couple things that might go wrong here. If you're too close to the wall, you're not going to be able to do it. You really need to have distance. So you need to have that, pretty much the bum to feet away from the wall where your hands are. Because if you're too close, here, one, you're not going to be able to get your leg underneath without falling down. In saying that, you don't want to be too far away either, because you want to be able to touch the wall with your leg bent. Yeah? So same distance to what I was saying about your hands, maybe even a tiny bit closer if you're feeling a little bit scared to start with, and practice using your fingers to get that position. And our very last one we're going to do is our freestanding handstand. And now this is what we were all aiming for, this is what we're all training for. So we're going to combine everything together that we've learned, and we're going to try and hold, or try and practice getting up there and holding that position. Now to start with, having a really perfect position and technique is not the number one thing you want to focus on. You want to focus on time on your hands and building that strength to get there. The technique you can fix later, but you want to make sure that you're being safe and you're really pushing through the hands to get a nice strong base to work from. So we're going to go from like how we've been kicking up each time, and we're going to practice bringing our legs up and trying to hold them for a little bit longer. I want you to focus on slightly leaning over a little bit more in your fingers and pushing your fingers into the ground. And if you want, you can split your legs. But I'm going to show you as well how to come out of it if you don't feel like you've gone a bit too far. Yeah. So cartwheeling out of it is the preferred exit if you've gone too far, rather than going into a bridge, because that can be quite hectic for your body each time. So when we go up into our handstand, we're going to join our legs together, and you're going to push a little bit further and just twist out. If you feel uncomfortable going like that, just do one leg at a time. So almost like a cartwheel, we're coming up and then keep going. Making sure that there's nothing in the way that you might hit, because that is what's going to be quite scary for you if, when you're practicing and if you hit something, you know, you feel like that there's going to be something around and you don't want to hurt yourself. So again, when we come around, it would be better to try your cartwheel first to see which way you like to cartwheel. I like to cartwheel with my left hand down and land my right leg first. So when I go into it, that is the position that I'm doing, and I'm twisting out to that side. So one more time. We're coming up. We're squeezing and then twisting out of it. Yeah? You might feel a little bit Gumby. You might want to bend your legs a little bit and land on the ground rather than trying to stand up, and that's fine. Getting comfortable with this position will help you get a really good handstand. The other one we can practice is not bringing your legs together straight away, because bringing your legs together straight away is the hardest version. You can practice bringing one leg up and going into a stag position first. Yeah? Your legs can be straight, and then you can get comfortable with that first, and then you can progress it. You can also do that against the wall first. But yeah, make sure you do lots and lots of attempts. If your wrists are feeling really sore, shake them out, give them a break. Handstands is something you really have to build up over time. Try and do 15 minutes every single day, or 30 minutes a couple times a week. Following this handstand guide, you'll get to know it, and you can smash it out pretty quick.